Contrarians, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital recap for Tuesday, July 20th. First off, I'm very excited for this video because there's a lot of really good content in here, doing a quick deep dive as to how all of these currencies are connected in the new financial system. But first up, we got triple digit gains make dog shit coin and Ethereum Classic the top performers of Q2. Thought this was important to note that Ethereum Classic was up there. It is part of the Grayscale portfolio. We do not like Doggy Coin, Dogecoin, Dogshit Coin at all. We do not recommend that coin at all. Purely manipulation at its finest from Elon Musk. But Ethereum Classic is something that we definitely would consider getting into, simply for the fact that Grayscale does hold it in its portfolio. But I did find it interesting that they did not talk about Telcoin, one of the most epic gainers of all time, 104,951%. Not sure why that didn't make the list, but you can see this epic rise took place basically from the end of last year, around November, all the way up until basically May 10th, or the week of May 10th. And we discussed this in our newsletter all the way back in November 25th, 2020. Literally right before the massive rise. No, we are not a pump group, but we do find suppressed assets. We do find undervalued assets, and we let everybody know about this for free on November 25th. All the way back last year, we talked about Telcoin being undervalued. As you can see here, at that current time, it was down 70%. We stated our analysis shows this coin is undervalued and down 70% since September 1st. And it was currently 7,000% off of its all-time high. So, what does that mean? What it means is you guys should subscribe to the newsletter to get awesome content and not be misled by all these billionaires. These are the coins that you guys need to be invested in, the projects you need to look out for. We do deep dives. We have a free version and a paid version. Free version will give you daily briefs, overall market sentiment, and then the paid version gives you these gems like this. And while not all coins will go up 100,000%, it is possible to get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x your money on some of these other assets that have yet to pop off. So check us out if you know it's good for you. Also, we got Mastercard to test USDC for payments as stablecoin scrutiny intensifies. It says Mastercard will use the USDC stablecoin as a bridge asset for cardholders who want to pay for goods using cryptocurrencies. And this is huge. It says that not all crypto companies have the foundational infrastructure to convert cryptocurrency to traditional fiat, and we're making it easier. So you have USDC, Mastercard. If you guys don't know, the USDC was created by who? The Center Consortium. And guess who created the Center Consortium? Circle and Coinbase. Circle and Coinbase created the Center Consortium, which made USDC, which is pegged to the dollar. If you guys are unaware, it's a stable coin, literally one-to-one backing, so they say. So now what do? We go in and we check out the Center Consortium, and we find out that they announced Algo as an official chain for USDC. This was back on September 9th of 2020, which I thought was interesting. So they are using Algo, expanding USDC from Ethereum to additional blockchains like Algo will ensure USDC has the flexibility to support everything from emerging DeFi projects to large-scale financial institutions. Keep that in mind. DeFi projects and large-scale financial institutions. We're going to get into that in just a minute here. Also keep in mind, Grayscale basically owns CoinDesk, the digital currency group, so they do control the media that gets put out on CoinDesk. So, Circle reveals asset backing USDC stablecoin. Crypto's number 2 stablecoin is backed mostly, 61%, by cash and cash equivalents. And here's what I found interesting. So it says, according to the report, about 61% of its tokens are backed by cash and cash equivalents, meaning cash and money market funds. They do plan on going public later this year, and they're supposed to be valued at approximately $4.5 billion. Also, quick background on Circle. If you guys are new to the channel, we've been tying Circle to Goldman Sachs for a while now. It says on their Wikipedia, Circle, the company, has received over $135 million in venture capital from 4 rounds of investments from 2013 to 2016, including $50 million led by guess who? Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs been in the game for a while, invested in Circle. Circle owns Poloniex, which is one of the biggest crypto exchanges. And then we go to USDC coin on their Wikipedia. And here's what else I wanted to point out. Circle claims that each USDC is backed by dollar held in reserve. The USDC reserves are regular attested, but not audited. They're not audited by Grant Thornton. So just like Tether wasn't audited, USDC, I mean, for all we know, they could just be printing money out of thin air. I mean, you got to think Coinbase is basically a bank right now. They're valued at what, $4 billion, I believe, when they went public. And then you have Circle funded by Goldman Sachs. Like, tie the dots together. It's all out there for you to see. Also, I thought this was hilarious. Crypto is an untested asset category, says UBS CEO Ralph Hammers. Well, Ralph, did you forget that UBS, where are you at? UBS right here. You're part of R3, which built the Corda blockchain, in which all of these currencies over here, Algorand, Ripple, Swift, Visa, XDC, all these guys are tied together. Ralph, did you forget? Are you unaware as the CEO about the technology that your company funded, where all business-to-business transactions and central bank transactions will be taking place on your blockchain? You and the other 8 banks that you guys worked with? Really? Is that why you think it's untested asset category? Yet you're literally building the banking infrastructure that all blockchain payments and business-to-business payments are going to take place on? Come on, Ralph. As mentioned in last videos, R3, 9 banks built Corda blockchain and ISO coins that they're going to be using. Algorand, which we talked about for USDC coin, they're going to be using that. Zinfin, and you guys know the story, all the ISO coins. So now we go to Rothschild Investment Corp. They have increased its Bitcoin exposure by 300% since April, which I thought was hilarious that the Rothschilds are now finally coming out saying they're involved in cryptocurrencies when they've literally been involved this entire time, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the list of banks owned and controlled by one family, the Rothschilds. And I've seen this on multiple sites. You guys can go fact check this. But look at the list. It'll take me about 10 minutes to scroll through here. Look at all these central banks that they own. 1 million of them, literally. A ton. And then what happens when we get to the U.S.? What do they own in the U.S.? I thought this was interesting, in case you guys were unaware. They own the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So, if you think the Rothschilds haven't been here for a long time, you're sorely mistaken. Keep this in mind. Like I said, we were talking about DeFi. DeFi may lead to a paradigm shift, says Federal Reserve Bank paper. You think that's just a coincidence? May 5th, 2021. Central banks, Federal Reserve, they're all going to be using this technology. Do not let them lead you astray when they finally just come out, probably 10 years after they've been manipulating these markets, now finally saying that, yeah, we're here. Okay, don't believe it one bit. Now, we got Yellen, which she was calling for quick regulations on stablecoins. At the meeting, the U.S. officials also discussed the rapid growth of stablecoins, their possible benefits as a payment method, and potential risks that they might pose to the financial system and end users. But we already know that the Corda blockchain will be utilizing XRP, XDC, and Algo, and XLM most likely. As we know, Germany, Ukraine, already using Stellar Lumens technology. Also, U.S. senators asked Team USA to boycott China's digital yuan at the 2022 Olympics. It says we cannot allow America's athletes to be used as Trojan horse to increase the Chinese Communist Party's ability to spy on the U.S., said Senator Cynthia Lummis, as if we're not already being spied on by our own government anyways. This is hilarious because if you guys remember in the last video, what's the timeline on the ISO coins? Do we remember? November 2022. This will all be released by November 2022. They plan on going live. And what happens? It literally lines up right with the Winter Olympics, the 2022 Olympics. Do you think that's a coincidence? I do not think it's a coincidence at all. And then you have Biden accusing Chinese state actors of ransomware, cryptojacking attacks. It says hackers with a history of working for the PRC, Ministry of State Security, have engaged in ransomware attacks, cyber-enabled extortions, cryptojacking, and rank theft from victims around the world, all for financial gain. And what I think is hilarious about this is that all of these stories about the ransomware attacks that come up, asking for Bitcoin, would be the most idiotic thing you could possibly do as a hacker is ask for Bitcoin. It is trackable. It is traceable. You would get your ass caught in a heartbeat if anybody knew what they were looking for. This is why you would want to use something like Monero, a decentralized cryptocurrency that is not illegal. It is privacy oriented and provides users with anonymity. Why wouldn't you ask for Monero? That's what you should ask for. So in my opinion, most of these news stories that come up about the hacks and the ransomware is just going to be a way for them to slide in their narrative to control the price of Bitcoin. Plain and simple. Also, found this. Michael Saylor says he's not forced to sell MicroStrategy's Bitcoin no matter what. And haven't we heard this before? Billionaires saying that they're not going to sell their Bitcoin no matter what. Remember when Tesla said that? Musk says Tesla can now be bought using Bitcoin that will be stored, not turned into fiat. Remember when he said that? Back on March 24th, 2021. And then what happened? June 13th. Musk says Tesla sold about 10% of Bitcoin to test the market when he was dumping on everybody. Absolutely hilarious. You do not trust the billionaires one bit. They are there to take the retail investors' money. That means my money. That means your money. Do not fall for it. So, in short, Federal Reserve Bank, they've been here for a minute. They've been here for a very long time. Owned by the Rothschilds. We've seen the Federal Reserve come out in favor of DeFi technology, new paradigm shift. Literally 9 banks have issued R3 Corda. They have funded it. They're going to be using these currencies. I've told you guys this time and time again. This is the new financial system. These are the big players involved. UBS. Yet the UBS CEO has no idea what's going on. Do not buy it one bit. Have the contrarian mindset. If you guys like the content, like, share the video, get this stuff out there. Tell your friends and family. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and sign up for the newsletter. So with that being said, that will do it for this edition of the Encrypted Capital Recap. Please drop us a like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you all in the next video.